Let me take you to the mountains. I'm saying, ooh, let me take you to the sea. And breakfast with Bob. Breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Pancho Man. How about a round of applause for Mr. Pancho Man?
Happy Aloha Monday.
This is Breakfast with Bob. We're presented by ES Sports Nutrition, Cliff Bar, Timex, Roca, Tanyapura Resort, Rudy Project, and we're airing on slowtwitch.com. Our next guest, 2013 Ironman World Champion, Mr. Frederik Van Lierde. How about a round of applause for our main man? Freddie, how you doing?
Fine, I'm feeling great. It's nice to be back on the island, the view, everything, the atmosphere, so I feel good.
So when you win this race in 2013, how does it change your world?
Well, a lot changes, of course.
Yes.
I always wanted to stay myself and don't change my personality, but
Right.
around you everything changes. It's like you get a lot more attention. Everything is else when you come to a race, when you meet people, but it's a great feeling. It's the best I ever experienced in the sport, so that's what I'm chasing again.
So you won that year. You were the Belgian Athlete of the Year?
Yes, of course, yeah.
And I watched that on television, and we're talking, this is like a ESPN, ESPY type of awards. Everybody's in black tie and the whole bit. How special was that? And I think Luke was there as well, right? Your coach.
Yeah, Luke handed me the prize.
Luke Van Lierde.
Yeah, Luke Van Lierde. He handed out the prize I received there. But then, when you're a little kid, in the end of the year, it's always like Sportsman of the Year,
Yes.
and you never imagine you're gonna be there one day and stand there. And second guy was Van Nys, the cyclocross champion. So it was hard to get that first spot. It's not like that. You get it.
Well, and it's also, you've got soccer players, you've got all the mainstream sports athletes, and they have you first and a cyclocross second. That says a lot for endurance sports.
Sure, and then it's great for me as a person, but then next to that, for triathlon, we got a lot of media attention.
Yes.
So I think it's good for triathlon and for me.
Did that bring more Belgian media to this race last year when you were defending champion?
Yes, of course. There's some more attention, but it stays a sport that is not like soccer or like cycling in Belgium. So they have to take care of budgets as well. So it's not always for granted they show up here. So it's to us to perform, and then we'll see what happens.
So in 2012, you got third here.
Yeah.
And when I look at the splits, you're a 252 marathon, a 435 bike. What did you do between 2012 and 2013 to take that last step from being third or second to winning? Is always the toughest step.
Yeah, it's a tough step, but I know after getting third, my confidence was boosted. I felt like, now I know for sure I can win this thing.
Yes.
It doesn't say you're gonna win it, but you're capable of doing it. And then in terms of training, it's not a big difference. It's just continuing the path you're following, the strategy Luke Van Lierde is putting out for me, the way he works, his vision. And then it was just a matter of continuing, getting fit, staying injury-free, healthy. That's about it.
What's interesting to me is 2 years ago you win the race.
Mm-hmm.
Last year you're eighth, but there's about, Sebi, who won, had about 5 minutes on second place. But between second and eighth, I think there was 4:48 separating all of you guys. So you come away with eighth, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, he won last year, he took eighth. Mm-hmm. But you know how tight it was for you. You could have been second, right? You were in second for a big chunk of that race.
Well, you could have been second, but that's racing. I had a bad patch, and those 4:48 you mentioned, I still remember them in my head, one after the other.
Going by.
Me. And I just had a couple of minutes that was really bad.
Yes.
But then once you get started again and you run again, I think the last 9 kilometers I could run again. I could see them, in front of me, but you're not able to catch them anymore. So that means the level is just so dense these days. So the minor mistake you have or the minor bad patch you have, it's you pay off. So
how has the sport changed with Jan Frodeno coming in, 2008 Olympic gold medalist at that shorter distance. Javier Gomez at the 70.3 distance,
Sure.
who's also, I think he just ran 29 minutes off the bike and didn't win. Didn't win. So talk a little bit about the influx of talent that's coming into the sport.
I think it's great for the sport. We've seen Jan Frodeno this year, very, very impressive. So,
Yes.
and that's just good for the sport. That means that we, as competitors, need to take another step as well, and compete against those athletes is just great. It's a new dimension, a new atmosphere. I think it's the best our sport could get. New people coming in.
So this year, 5th at Frankfurt. Right,
Yeah.
but 8:07. That's a great. You go 8:07.
To get fifth is not too bad.
No, when you go 8:07, you're figuring you're winning something.
Yeah.
Were you happy with that race?
No. No, I mean fifth. That's not what I trained for and what I prepared for. But that's racing as well. And I did an Ironman early in the season in South Africa.
Yes.
I think recovery after that took a little bit longer than expected. And yeah, after South Africa, you have something like, okay, I can do it. I had a really good race.
Yes.
The focus is totally on Kona now, and maybe that extra percentage you need to be really, really 100% in Frankfurt. I didn't have it, but I hope I have it on Saturday.
How have you had to change as you've gotten a little older? I mean, 3 Ironmans in 1 year is a lot of racing.
It is.
Do you have to change in terms of taking more time off in between workouts, or doing, sort of spreading some of your harder sessions apart?
I heard that saying from other athletes getting a little bit older, but for me, for now, that's okay. But I think it's more the spirit you're in after a really good race. You're
Yes.
like, you feel like I'm almost Superman.
I can do anything.
I can do anything, and that's the risk you always have after a great race. So I think it was a little bit of that, because in terms of getting older, I still feel okay, even in terms of recovery and everything. So that's not a problem.
When you look at an athlete like Luke Van Lierde, who won this race twice, broke the course record, his first time out, had never run a marathon before, what have you learned from him? Because he's also a guy who had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
And sometimes an athlete who's had a lot of injuries can guide somebody to avoid the pitfalls that they had.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what you say. That's how Luke works. He had so many different injuries, so many things happened in his career, and I think now as a coach, that's the best you can have to transmit it to your athletes. Right. I think I'm not the athlete who trains the most in terms of kilometers, and I think it's just a matter of he won it twice. I mean, from the moment I started working with him, I was like, if Luke tells me that's the way to do it, so there's no doubt.
So you never question?
You never question. It's never a question to why should we do that or that.
Right.
It's just the way it is, yeah.
Do you think moving forward after this year, obviously, we've got a big race coming up on Saturday. After this year, do you think you'll continue to do 3 Ironman in a year, or is it dependent on getting points and all that type of thing?
The points for me, as you know, that's not a problem.
Yes.
So it's just, I know Ironman distance, the full distance is my best distance. So in 2012, I did the same thing. I raced in Melbourne, I won in Nice, and then I got third in Hawaii. So, I mean, 3 Ironmans in 1 year, if they're well spread, for me, that's not a problem.
That works well.
I think in 2012, I even added Abu Dhabi, the longer.
That's right, that longer race.
So that's not the problem. It's just planning and making sure you have a lot of rest in between.
So when you look at next Saturday, and obviously everybody's talking Sebastian Kienle, our defending champion, Jan Frodeno, who won in Frankfurt, won 70.3 Worlds. Who else? The men's field is stacked.
It is.
Are there people that we don't know that much about who we should be watching for?
Yeah, we are 55, 56 at the start line. I think really a high percentage of it is really high quality triathletes.
Yes.
I think you can name 10, 15 guys who really are able to
win the race. I know.
Yeah, sure. The other Belgian guys, Bart is really on a high level.
Arnouts, yes.
Everybody saw what Marino was doing this year, so we have some good athletes in Belgium. So I think next to that. Is
it important? I know with the German guys, a lot of times when they came here, it was important to be the first German.
Yeah.
Right? There was a lot of competition to be the first German. Is it important to be the first Belgian, or if you're not having a good day, do you want to see Bart or Marino have good days?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of respect for Bart and Marino, and if I don't have the day I want it, it's always nice if another one could win it, another Belgian could win it. But I think none of us are really interested in being the best Belgian. I think it's the win or the podium that really counts.
Win and podium is it. Yeah. Like you said, Ironman, the longer is the better for you. Yeah. Is there an Ironman race that you haven't done that you want to do?
Oh yeah, plenty of them, and
there's so many of them now. There's 40.
and Ironman is not making it easy because they add every year a couple of other ones. So no, I mean I did quite a lot now. I did France, I did New Zealand, Melbourne, South Africa, Frankfurt. So those are all great races, and I'm sure if I pick another one, it will be again a great race. So yeah, maybe in 2016 I will choose some new races to do.
How many total iron distance events have you done now?
Oh, I think
over 30 probably, huh?
No.
Not that many?
No, 2008 was the first year, 9, 10, 11, 12.
So about 13, 3 a year?
14. Yeah, so...
About 15 to 20?
Yes, something in between.
15 to 20.
Yeah. I'll have to count it.
You'll have to count them up because it seems like there's a point where people get to when they've done over 30 or so where mentally it gets really, really hard.
Well, I'm not there yet.
You're not there. You're loving it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And the training, you still love the training.
Yeah. And after winning this one in 2013, a lot of people ask me, "Isn't it difficult to get motivated every time?" And
yes.
I mean, but that's easy right now. Yeah. It's like just still in a flow since then.
And when you look back, it is still when you go to the starting line here last year, in the back of your mind, you still can visualize what it felt like to come down Ali'i Drive and know that you were going to win.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. I will never forget that. And coming back here feels great. And you have plenty of good memories, even on the course.
Yes.
I mean, when you're biking and at some point you pass, or on the run you pass at some point, it's great.
We have one of our guys does stats, and every year he keeps track of people's first mile and then how their pace stays as close as possible to that first mile, because a lot of people get off the bike and run so fast that first mile.
Too fast, yeah.
And you are the most consistent guy. Your pace for that first mile is basically what you end up running for the entire race. How much practice do you put in maintaining pace so you don't get carried away with the crowds?
The thing is, I think it's something in me, like a natural break or something.
Metronome,
Yeah, something like that. Because when I train, I train, of course, on heart rate and everything. Yes. But next to that, with Luke, we talk a lot about the feeling. How did you feel that day?
Right.
And, and the first mile is, of course, important, but it will not determine your race. So if you give yourself the time to get into your rhythm, and that's something that works really well for me.
Love it.
Yeah.
Frederik, thanks so much for taking time. How about a round of applause for our 2013 Ironman World Champion, Mr. Frederik Van Lierde. Again, we are brought to you by EAS Sports Nutrition, Cliff Bar, Timex Roca, Tanya Porter Resort, Rudy Project, and we're airing on Slow Twitch. Poncho Man, take us out.
Ooh, let me take you to the mountains. Ooh, let me take you breakfast with Bob. Breakfast with Bob. Breakfast with Bob.
Poncho Man! Thank you, Freddie.
Yeah, thanks so much.